森林里的风是轻轻的，如果你有足够的耐心，你会听见叶子擦过彼此的声音，还有那些藏在阳光里的呢喃。小兔子米米就很擅长倾听，它可以听见树干里虫儿走路的脚步声，也能听见朋友们。虽然没说出口，但其实想说的心情。最近米米发现小熊有些不太一样，他开始提早离开音乐练习时间，森林里的聚会也只待一下下就默默离开。他没生气，也没难过，只是好像有什么事情他不想被发现。米米没有立刻问，他知道有些心情不是用你怎么了这句话就能说清楚的。于是他悄悄地观察，并在某个午后静静地跟在小熊身后。那天小熊带住背包，一路往森林深处走去，穿过小溪，绕过藤蔓，最后在一座满是青草的小山丘前停下来。米米躲在一棵大树后面，看着小熊打开背包，里面装住一台小小的手风琴，那是小熊最喜欢的乐器。但这次他不是拿来表演的。他坐下来，低着头，开始一遍又一遍地练习一首曲子，音符时而跳跃，时而打结，有时候音跑掉了，有时候整段都重来。他反复地练，神情专注，没有人鼓掌，也没有人批评。原来他是来练习这首曲子的。米米想，他突然明白小熊为什么不想让大家知道，因为小熊总是被称赞音乐很厉害，但这次的曲子他弹不好，他不想被看到还不够好的样子。这让米米想起自己以前学跳跃的时候，那时候的他也只敢在没有人看的时候偷偷试试看。他总会一边喊着再一次，一边心里小声祈祷，不要有人看到我摔倒。当天晚上，小熊准备离开时，看见站在树下的米米，整个人吓了一跳。你怎么在这里？他结结巴巴地问。米米走出来，手上拿着一片叶子，像是刚好路过的样子。他笑了笑说，我没有故意偷看，是我担心你。当我听见你弹琴的时候，好像也听见你在告诉自己，我想做好这件事。小熊低下头，有点不好意思地说，我还弹不好，不想让大家看到现在这样的我。如果演奏失败了，大家会怎么想？米米坐到他身边，拍拍他的背，那也没关系啊，弹不好也可以被看见。我们喜欢你，不是因为你什么都做得好，而是因为你就是你。小熊抬起头，看着米米那双温柔的眼睛，像一盏夜里的小灯，不大，但很亮。可是我真的很害怕站在大家面前。小熊说。米米点点头，我懂。以前我第一次参加跳跃比赛时，脚还没跳，耳朵就先抖了起来。但后来我学到一件事，不完美没关系，只要你愿意慢慢来，就已经很勇敢了。隔天一早，米米特地带了一本笔记本到山丘，他打算把小熊每天练习的进步记录下来，画成图画，让小熊知道他每天都比昨天更好一点点。他画下小熊练习时皱眉的样子，也画下他成功弹出一段旋律时露出的微笑。他还画了风从草丛中吹过，小熊仍然不退缩的模样。几周后，森林举办了一场音乐会，动物们都来了。乌鸦唱了高音，小狐狸用尾巴打节拍，甚至连平常害羞的小鼹鼠也带来了一段口琴演出。轮到小熊上场时，他的脚微微发抖，手风琴也有些滑手，但他深吸一口气，想起米米说的 好意思给风听也没关系，于是他开始演奏。第一段还算顺利，第二段有一点小小的错音，但他没有停下，继续往下弹。他弹的不只是旋律，而是一段他和自己和解的旅程。当最后一个音落下，全场静默了1秒，接着爆出热烈掌声。有些动物还喊出太棒了，小熊。小熊站在舞台上，眼眶泛红，却笑得好安心。米米站在人群中，眼里闪着亮亮的光。那晚，米米回到家，拿出他那本厚厚的笔记本，在空白页上写下：真正厉害的，不是一开始就完美的人，而是愿意在还不完美的时候，继续走下去的你。The wind in the forest was soft. If you listened patiently, you could hear the rustling of leaves brushing against each other, and the whispers hidden in the golden patches of sunlight. Mimi the little white rabbit was very good at listening. He could hear the footsteps of insects crawling inside tree trunks, and he could hear the unspoken feelings behind the smiles of his friends. Lately, Mimi had noticed something different about Little Bear. He started leaving music practice early, and at the forest gatherings, he would stay for only a short while before quietly slipping away. He wasn't angry or sad. It just felt like there was something he didn't want anyone to see. Mimi didn't ask right away. He knew that some feelings couldn't be explained just by asking, "What's wrong?" So instead, he quietly observed, and one afternoon, he followed Little Bear from a distance. That day, Little Bear carried a small backpack and walked deep into the woods. He crossed streams, stepped over vines, and finally stopped at a little hill blanketed with soft grass. Mimi hid behind a tall tree and watched as Little Bear took out a tiny accordion from his bag, the one he loved the most. But this time, he wasn't here to perform. He sat down, lowered his head, and began practicing a song again and again. The notes jumped, got tangled, sometimes fell apart, and sometimes he had to restart the whole melody. He practiced over and over, completely focused. No one clapped, no one judged. So this is why he's been disappearing, Mimi thought. And in that moment, he understood. Little Bear didn't want anyone to see him when he was still not good at something. Little Bear was always praised for being great at music. But this time, he wasn't great not yet. He didn't want anyone to witness him being not enough. That reminded Mimi of when he first learned to jump. He only dared to practice when no one was around. He'd always say one more time, while quietly hoping, "Please, don't let anyone see me fall." That night, when Little Bear was packing up to leave, he saw Mimi standing under the tree and nearly jumped in surprise. "You? Why are you here?" he stammered. Mimi stepped forward, holding a leaf as if he had just been passing by. He smiled and said, "I wasn't spying. I was just worried about you. And when I heard you play, it felt like you were saying to yourself, I really want to do this well." Little Bear looked down, a little embarrassed. "I'm still not good enough. I don't want anyone to see me like this. What if I mess up in front of everyone?" Mimi sat beside him and gently patted his back. "That's okay. It's okay to be seen when you're not perfect. We like you not because you do everything perfectly, but because you are you." Little Bear looked up into Mimi's gentle eyes. They were like a little lantern in the night. Not big but warm. "But I'm really scared to be on stage," he admitted. Mimi nodded. "I get it. The first time I entered the jumping race, my ears were shaking before my feet even moved. But later, I learned something important. It's okay not to be perfect, as long as you're willing to keep trying. That's already brave." The next morning, Mimi brought a sketchbook to the hill. He planned to draw Little Bear's progress every day so he could see for himself how far he'd come. He drew his frowning face when the notes tangled. He drew the smile when he finally played a whole phrase correctly. He even drew the wind blowing through the grass while Little Bear kept playing, unbothered. Weeks passed. The forest animals prepared for the big music night. Crow practiced his soaring notes. Fox tapped rhythms with his tail. Even Shy Mole brought a small harmonica to join in. When it was Little Bear's turn to play, his feet trembled. The accordion almost slipped from his paws. But he took a deep breath and remembered what Mimi had said. It's okay to let the wind hear your mistakes. He began to play. The first part went well. The second had a small missed note. But he didn't stop. He kept going. What he played wasn't just music. It was a quiet journey of making peace with himself. When the last note faded, the entire forest held its breath for a second. Then came thunderous applause. Some animals even shouted, "That was amazing, Little Bear." Little Bear stood on stage, his eyes glistening, but he smiled, truly and peacefully. Mimi stood in the crowd, his eyes sparkling. That night, Mimi went home, opened his thick sketchbook, and on the first blank page he wrote, "Being truly great doesn't mean being perfect from the start. It means you keep going, even when you're still a little scared."